Here, Wrestling Observer Live. Jim Valley is joining us here today. So all of these terrible things happening in the world of pro wrestling, but good news for the Revival. WWE announced Friday morning they have granted the Revival their immediate release. Effective today, Friday, April 10, 2020, WWE and the Revival have agreed on their immediate release from WWE. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors. According to myself, on the January 31st edition of Observer Live, the duo made up of Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder had asked for their release in January for a second time in 2 years. Dave Meltzer reporting there is no 90-day no-compete. The two are free and clear to sign or work wherever they would like. Dawson's contract was either up or about to be up, while Wilder initially had a few months added to the end of his contract due to previous time off due to injuries. They had reportedly turned down 5-year renewals, have not been on WWE TV since losing a number one contender fatal four-way on the January 31st SmackDown. They've been filing for their own trademarks. In the March 2nd and 9th edition of the Observer newsletters, Dave wrote, WWE and the Revival battling for intellectual property rights since it appears Revival is leaving next month with AEW looking to be the likely destination. WWE has filed for trademarks on the terms mechanics. Can you imagine wanting that one? Which was the name they used before the Revival, and the term no flips, just fists. They are trying to get the trademark, the team, for the latter term, no flips, just fists. Revival has also filed trademarks for Top Guys Say Yeah and No Flips, Just Fists. They already filed for the term Forever the Revival, which means they can use the FTR branding that the Young Bucks used years ago on BTE and in Ring of Honor, where they have people chant F the Revival based on the idea that the Revival was a team people were considering as possibly better than the Young Bucks. So I guess we'll see. I would be stunned if they did not end up in AEW. But we must wait for the... I guess AEW, we won't even know... You know, it's interesting. I didn't even think about this till just now. But Revival's deal wasn't up for a little while here. And by releasing them, it's one of those things that WWE can do and say, oh, you know, we finally did what they asked. We're playing nice here. Well, yeah, you're playing nice when AEW already taped through mid-May. So they can't show up on the show. I guess they could pre-tape some stuff and show up on the show. But, I mean, they can't show up and wrestle until at least the end of May because everything's already been taped. So, very interesting, but the Revival now free and clear.
Couple of things. One, Dash and Dawson have got a real-life passion and history in their families for pro wrestling. So I think on that level, I hope that, particularly when things get, back to a more normal capacity, that this is satisfying for them professionally and personally. The other thing to talk about is, AEW seems to have a glut of talent. And is that going to be managed differently going forward? A lot of new people, a lot of people that have been around since the beginning. What does that mean? Are people going to get pushed down the card as far as booking and television time? Those type of questions. And then getting back to what you were talking about, Brian, think about this. If things were not where we are right now and the Revival came out to a huge ovation and, whatever people are going to chant, I think that while people are excited and it can create some interest and some momentum, I think it is minimized a bit by you're not going to have that overwhelming, huge crowd reaction that first time they come out.
You're not. We had that problem with Brody Lee. We had that problem with Matt Hardy. And we don't know when everything is going to get back to normal again. It could be quite a while. We don't even know. WWE is scheduled to start taping today. I've heard nothing otherwise. But, I mean, who knows how long they're going to be able to tape. They better tape a lot of shows. And Impact better tape a lot of shows. And I know that AEW is just hoping, hope May 15th comes and we're allowed to tape again because nobody knows. Luckily, it appears that around the country, not obviously not everywhere, but in a lot of different places, as Jim noted, Washington is one of them, where this whole thing started. I mean, things have very much slowed here. It's obviously not eradicated. We're not going back anytime soon. We're stuck at the stay-at-home order until at least May 5th, and I wouldn't be surprised if that extended through May 30th. But in a lot of places, things are beginning to trend downwards. But that still doesn't mean that all of a sudden, boom, everything's going to open up again. It won't be like that. It's probably going to be opened up very slowly in different places around the country, one place at a time, slowly, not everything all at once. And, I mean, you can probably write off a fair amount of this year, no matter where you are. So we'll see if live wrestling with fans returns by the end of 2020. I'm 50-50 on it.